Epimanly, for the well-groomed man of the 90s. Epimanly gently removes unsightly nose hairs, and because Epimanly takes the hair from the root, you can go longer between trimmings. Epimanly's patented lift and yank action gently lifts and yanks the hair from the root. Epimanly's turbine rotary blades cast a gentle breeze over your face. Epimanly, for the well-groomed man of the 90s. Sold at fine stores everywhere.
Epimanly.
Epimanly, for the well-groomed man of the 90s.
Welcome back to Truth Quest. My name is Aaron Moriarity. I will be your host, and we're going on a quest for truth together again. Here we are again, friends. It's the year 2025, and it's almost the end. We're coming to the end of another year. And I can't believe it's 2025 and it's almost over. Reminds me of that old song. When I was a kid, this song came out. In the year 2525. Yeah, well, it's not 2525, but it's 2025. I never thought I kind of missed 19 in front of the, 19 instead of 20. I don't know. Can't get used to it, but I've got a New Year's resolution. My New Year's resolution, you might even see it in tonight's show. I don't know. My New Year's resolution is to write 2026 instead of 2025 when I write checks or whatever. That's my goal. See, as you get older, your goals get simpler. Not always achievable, but simpler. There we go. Well, let's cruise on over to guess where we're going to. Oh, do you think you have to guess? Oh, Chatlandia. Oh, I got to say hi to another person right before we go there. Oh. And then we'll go right over there. You probably see it on the screen there. No mystery, is it? Alrighty, Aphrodite. Well, let's go on over to Chatlandia and see who's chatting about, shall we? Well, look who's here. Why, it's Weiss123. That's Catherine Weiss over there on Rumble. She says, hi, Aaron. And I said, no, Kathy said, I'll be over on YouTube tonight. And then she also says, hi, Peggy, because she's anticipating Peggy coming. And then I said, hi, Kathy. Okay. And then look at Kathy's over there at YouTube already. There she is saying, hi, Aaron. And there I am saying, hi, Kathy. We get to say hi twice. Isn't that nice? And I went over to the YouTube portrait show, and I said, hello, Truth Questers. And look who's here. Why, it's Skylark74. He says, greetings, fellow Truth Questers. And then I said, hi, Skylark74. And then Kathy says, hi, Skylark74. Oh, and look who's here. It's Peggy Dancer, another one of our Ultra Mods, because we got Kathy and Peggy, 2 Ultra Mods tonight so far. And she says, hi, Aaron and Kathy. Heading to Rumble. Running late. Sorry. Well, so was I. So you're not as late as you thought. So, and we're just glad you came. And it doesn't matter if you're a little late, because we're very, we're just happy you're here. And then Kathy says, hi, Aaron, over on the portrait YouTube. And look who's here. Why, it's our good friend Operation Shutdown. He says, I strive to be a well-groomed man of the 90s. Well, that's good. I think we all should, all of us men anyway. Don't you think? That's awesome. Of course, you got to use that Epimanly. That's one of my longtime sponsors. Never made a dime from them, but hey, We're still waiting, still hoping. We're always optimistic here. And then Cap 78 Pack Peggy Dancer says over on Rumble, hi Aaron, Weiss123, Kathy, Skylark 74. And then Kathy says, hi Operation Shutdown. And then I gotta say hi to Operation Shutdown too. Operation Shutdown! Exclamation points galore. There we have it. And Kathy says, hi, Peggy. And then I said, hi, Cap 78 Pack, Peggy Dancer. And then Operation Shutdown says, hello, Catherine Weiss. And then Skylark says, hello, Catherine. Hello, Peggy. Hello, Aaron. And then Cap 78 Pack Peggy Dancer says, sorry, I was a tad late. Really, really cold and windy here. Hope you stay on. Yes, I hope so too. And it was so cold in my studio today. I had to scrounge around and find my other heater, which I had just moved and forgot that I moved it. I tell you, I hope we have that mini webinar on memory because I need it, I need it. And then KP over there on YouTube says, hi, man. How are you doing? I'm doing good. And there's that person. I'm not sure if it's a real person or not. Please log in and say if you're real or not. And Skylark74 says, hi. Hello, Operation Shutdown. And look, we have Kasun Lee. Hello from Sri Lanka. My first time. What's this about? It's about questing for the truth. I subbed you. Doing good. Keep doing what you're doing. Okay, thanks. And then I said, hi, Operation Shutdown. And then, Alex T says, do you work for ice? No, I do not work for frozen water. Do you? I think a lot of people do. And Kathy says, hi, Kazun Lee. And then Operation Shutdown says, hello, Hot Games and Puzzles. 2026 will be the year you finally get those royalties for the Epamanly. Oh, yes. Won't that be groovy? Groovy like a record, you might even say. All right. Operation Shutdown always knows how to build my spirits up. Look at that. How do you like that? Thanks, buddy. And then Operation Shutdown says, hello, Skylark. And Mr. Fox says, who deleted my comment? It's just a simple question. I don't know. I don't think I saw it. We have mods. If there's a questionable thing, it gets deleted. So just don't do questionable things. It's just a simple question. Well, sometimes simple questions can be misconstrued or maybe not. Maybe it was a good idea to delete it. I don't know. Operation Shutdown. What's this about? It's about us being just downrange of strange, where the outrageous is contagious and the paranormal is the new normal. That's right. Why didn't I remember that? Thanks, Operation Shutdown. And Cap 78 Pack says, hello, Operation Shutdown. Hi there, Operation Shutdown. And there we go. And there we have it. Yes, we're questing for the truth, where we are saving the world with memes and dad jokes. Yes, we are. And we're Americans here, most of us. And freedom of speech is a beautiful thing. Yes, UFO disclosure is one of the things. I saw a UFO in 1996 over Chippewa Falls, Wisconsin, and it looked just like this. This is what it looked like. And it was darting at right angles, very sharp, very fast, and it was very large. It was very close, and it freaked me out. And I've been trying to get to the bottom of it ever since. Do you believe in Yod? Well, I don't know if I believe in Yod or not. And then I meant God. Oh, well, I think everybody does in their own way, don't you think? And Operation Shutdown says, hello, Peggy Dancer. And look, why it's buying. Paranormal is the new normal. Stay paranormal, my friends. Yes, stay paranormal. And then Cap 78 Pack says, hi, buying, at buying, 1819. And then Operation Shutdown says, my goal is to take a picture of that crazy UFO Aaron saw. Well, you know, when I saw it, after watching it for like a minute, totally amazed, thinking, what the heck is this thing? It was daylight. It was clear. It was a disc. It looked just like that. And I thought, wait a minute, I got my Handycam. It was 1996. Had a Sony Handycam with the thumb on button. Turned it on and it powered up, then it powered down. It didn't get one single frame. And that battery never worked after that. And I had never had any problems before. Yeah, my UFO are the UFOs before it got overhauled as UAPs. Yeah, UAPs is stupid. I just think that's a stupid thing to call them. I call them UFOs, you know, because we're just downrange of strange, where the outrageous is contagious and the paranormal is the new normal. And we don't like them changing the lingo, schmingo. Don't change the lingo, schmingo. It's UFO, all right? If you see something flying you can't identify it, it's a UFO. A UAP. That sounds really dumb. They wanted people to stop thinking about it. They gave it a very boring name. Operation Shutdown says UFOs is greater than UAPs. I agree. Yes, that's right. Alrighty, Aphrodite. Well, let's go on over to a crazy little spot on the intranet that we like to call, oh, wait a minute. Don't change the lingo, schmingo. That's right. And, you know, if I happen to swear, I always say, excuse the lingo, schmingo. Don't mean to do it. I don't like it. I don't like when people swear. Oh, no. Peggy Dancer says, darn it, my feed keeps freezing and cutting off. Sigh. Oh, no. Well, let's pray that Peggy Dancer's Cap 78 Pack's computer has a easier time and not be freezing. Boy, we got a blizzard. We had a blizzard up here today, or last night and today, and we got probably like 8 inches of snow. But it's blowing all over the place, so it's a lot deeper than that in a lot of spots. And Kazun Lee says UAP is an attempt to bury the old UFO cases. That's right. Yeah. I don't like it when they do that. Well, let's go over to a crazy little spot on the intranet that we like to call the land of Zuckers. Because there's a Zucker born every minute, and you got to know it. The Book of Faces, Facebookorama. There we are, and there's our show tonight, and a classic old photograph, one of many which we will be looking at today. I believe it's from the 60s, but look at that thing. It's just gleaming. Look at that. You might even say it's just downrange of strange, wouldn't you? And this is episode 712. So if this is your first time watching the Truth Quest, you got a lot of catching up to do. Also, for the newcomers that might not know it, Andrew D. Bishago has his own show on this channel. It's called The Quest for Truth with Andrew D. Bishago. And if you're unfamiliar with him, shame on you, because he spent the last 20 years on a truth campaign to talk about his involvement in 2 separate secret programs. The first was DARPA's Project Pegasus. He was one of 140 school-aged children who experimented with who were, I guess, they were experimenting with these new technologies, time travel and teleportation. At age 6, he teleported with his father, Raymond F. Bishago, who was principal of Project Pegasus. From New Jersey to Santa Fe, New Mexico, they teleported in 6 seconds, 2,000 miles. And that was back in 1968. And by 70, they had perfected this mode of transportation. Andy's dad wanted them to bring it forward to the public, to release the technology so that the public could take advantage of it, because we lose thousands and thousands of people every year in car accidents, and we don't need to be running around in cars. We could teleport. Vortal teleportation, where you open up a vortal tunnel in time space and you run through it, and you're floating above the ground. Then you find gentle footfall at the end. So there you go. Andrew D. Bishago. And yes, Operation Shutdown says Andrew D. Bishago is a legend. He certainly is. He's been on with William Shatner twice, once just 2 years ago, talking about his experiences. And Kathy puts this out. Please like and share this video with your friends, family, and social media. Hit the old thumbs up, because that helps the algorithm and the algo beat and the algo melody and all of those crazy algo things that we really don't know what they really are, but there's something they say. Thanks, Kathy, for putting that out there. Alrighty, Aphrodite. Well, let's get into this, shall we? And Elon Musk put this out today. My lower bound guess for how much fraud there is nationally is 20% of the federal budget, which would mean 1.5 trillion per year. Probably much higher, yes. And the Somalians are probably just a small part of that, but a very large part. If you or I did what the Somalis are doing in Minnesota, we'd be in jail. But they're given a pass by Tampon Tim Walls, who is not a good guy. My opinion. That's my opinion. Here he is right here, Tampon Tim. Why, that's his weapon of choice, is the big tampon. And the pillow guy, he's running against him. That's Mike Lindell, the great Mike Lindell, my pillow. And he's running for governor in Minnesota. Deborah Graham put that on. Look at that. The match of the century, you might even say. I think it looks like Mike Lindell has command with that pillow. I think he's been practicing with the pillow longer than Tampon Tim's been practicing with his tampon. Yeah. How do these people get into office? Tampon Tim. He's not even from Minnesota. And he's an idiot. I grew up in Minnesota. He's destroying Minnesota. Holy smokes. The man who was in Nick Shirley's videos has gone to 50 Somali daycares on his own, and not one has children. I go in the morning, afternoon, and night. No kids there ever. How do you like that? Yeah. And guess what? The local news in Minnesota is not even mentioning any of this. Imagine that. They're probably in on the take. They're probably getting that dirty Somali money, aren't they? You have to believe it. Oh, and Austin Morris pipes up and says, Paul Villa, color photo. I can't remember the date, late 50s or early 60s. We will be getting to that. We're going to find that out. That's going to be a little bit of a mystery. So we'll have to think about that. Thanks for giving us something to chew on there, Austin Morris. Question. What's your opinion about that loudmouth Dolly Saffron? She's with Preston Dennett. I haven't heard, to be honest with you, I haven't heard about either one of those people. And Cap 78 Pack says, yes, I followed this closely. Folks are freaking out with all the news on fraud. It's crazy, isn't it? Yep, and Happy Face is right here. Happy Face 2373. You can believe it. Trump already knows who Nick is from the past. Nick did a great job, and O'Keefe gave him an honor at Mar-a-Lago, alleging ice baby, prison, or deport. Yes. Alrighty then. So here we go, pressing along. Oh, and here is something very interesting. Some of you might know that Sun Records out in Memphis, Tennessee, is where a lot of rock and rollers got their start, including Elvis Presley, Jerry Lee Lewis, who else? Johnny Cash, of course, he was a little country, and Roy Orbison, amongst others. Elvis Presley is the biggest. But Sam Phillips had, with his little Sun Records, he wanted to record black artists because he really liked black music and thought it should get more airplay. But he liked this, and this is something I didn't even know. So this is very interesting. 70 years ago today, Sam Phillips started WHER in Memphis, the first station to be entirely staffed by women. Amazing. Check this out.
70 years ago today, WHER went on the air in Memphis, Tennessee. Their slogan, 1,000 Beautiful Watts, alluded to the fact that the station was entirely staffed and hosted by women, which was a crazy concept in 1955. And honestly, kind of still a crazy concept in 2025, as only 12% of program directors at radio stations in the United States are women today. The trailblazing women of WHER were on the station that was founded by Sam Phillips of Sun Records. Sam had always wanted to own a radio station, and his wife, Becky Phillips, was radio talent in Sheffield, Alabama, which is where they met when she was on the radio. He said that he fell in love with her voice before he even met her. On WHER, it was like any other radio station. They reported the news, they recapped sports, they played music, they had call-in shows, all of the really cool things that can happen on radio, but completely by women. The Phillips family legacy continues today in radio, as Becky's granddaughter, Hallie Phillips, is now an award-winning radio executive in Florence, Alabama. Without WHER, none of this could be possible, and we are so excited to celebrate this anniversary of a trailblazing radio station. No one thought it would last more than a year, and it stayed on AM 1430 in Memphis until 1973. Shout out to the ladies of WHER, and happy 70 years! 70 years ago today, WHER.
WHER, isn't that cool? Wow. So he's not only trailblazing for black artists and young people like Elvis just breaking in, and also an all-woman radio station. That's awesome. Oh, you said you wanted to hear an old ad? Well, here's an old ad. Now, I do not remember this. This might actually predate me, but it's Blaze the horse. Check it out from Mattel.
Marshal, he just dug up the bank. He's headed for Deadwood.
You'll never get away with this, Slippery Sam.
Marshal Bob is riding Blaze, the fabulous new galloping horse from Mattel. See, his legs actually move just like a real horse. There's no other riding horse anywhere that gallops like Blaze. Now watch this. When you bounce on Blaze, he romps along like a frisky colt. He gallops when you rock back and forth on him, but he's so safe you just can't tip over. Blaze is the safest, strongest horse made.
Okay, Slippery. This is the end of the line.
Almost got away, Marshal, if it weren't for that lightning fast horse of yours. Where'd you get him?
You can get Mattel's Blaze wherever toys are sold.
And just wait till Dad sees how easy it is to set up. Just pop him out of the box, spread the stand, and tighten just one bolt. That's all there is to it. And see how safe and solidly built Blaze is. You can tell it's Mattel. It's swell.
Oh, yeah. Look at that. How do you like them apples? Oh, you said you wanted another ad, but not so old? Here's an ad from the big 80s, from Return the 80s, classic 80s commercial for Juicy Fruit gum. Check this out. Remember this one? I do.
Get your teeth shined up, grab a stick of juicy fruit. The taste is gonna move ya. Take a sniff, pull it out. The taste is gonna move you when you pop it in your mouth. Juicy fruit is gonna move ya. It's just a song, it gets right to ya. Juicy fruit, the taste is gonna move ya.
The taste is gonna move ya. That's right, won't it? Oh, and here is from Spacecraft Guide. Astronaut Charlie Duke explains how they were able to pass safely through the Van Allen radiation belts. You know, some of these moon landing deniers claim that no one could survive going through the Van Allen belt, but we did it, so they can. So let's check it out. Charlie Duke.
Well, the radiation outside of Earth's atmosphere is there, and we were exposed to that, and people were concerned about going through the Van Allen belts, which are about 20,000 miles out, and they were very intense bands of radiation. But you go through so fast, you're going 25,000 miles an hour at that point. You just boom, you're through them in several seconds. Well, the radiation outside of Earth's atmosphere is there, and we were exposed to that, and people were concerned about going through the Van Allen belts, which
you're going 25,000 miles an hour, and it's inconsequential. Inconsequential. What the heck happened to my? I have to get this back up, folks. Alrighty then. Oh boy. Getting it back up there. Something happened. Something always happens when you're doing these darn UFO disclosure shows. I think the algorithms get messed with by someone. I don't know. C3 put this out. C3. Are you sitting down? There are 42,861 NGOs handling $120 billion in Minnesota per year. 42,861 non-governmental organizations, except these non-government organizations always get their money from the government. So how can they be non-government when they get all their money from the government? It's a scam, folks, that they need to close them all down. It's unconstitutional. We're just scratching the surface. Yes. Happy Monday. Look at that. It's why it's a representation of Snoopy and Woodstock. By Tina Charlene Luker. Thanks, Tina, for putting that out there. Oh, that's new scum. Same as the old scum. New scum. Have to keep reposting. Oh, what's New Scum's California doing? How are they doing? Oh, they're number one in lots of things. They're number one in homelessness, number one in poverty, number one in addiction, number one in gas prices, number one in income tax, number one in gas tax, number one in budget deficit, number one in retail theft, number one in citizens exodus, number one in COVID mandates, number one in COVID school closures. Yeah, they were nasty with that. Number one in COVID business closures. Number one in illegal immigration, number one in funding illegal migration, and number one in illiteracy, number one in wage stagnation, number one in frivolous lawsuits, and number one in worker restrictions, and number one in anti-business regulations. Everyone's moving out of there. There's only one business that's happy. Well, actually, maybe many businesses that are happy about people leaving California. That would be U-Haul and moving companies. They're happy about that. What's this? Property taxes are a scam. It's un-American and should be abolished ASAP. From Kim Strawn. Thanks, Kim. I agree. Remember this guy? Hired by Tim Walz, Tampon Tim. Remember when a Tim Walz appointee was tied to the killing of the only lawmaker who was pushing to stop fraud in Minnesota? Yeah, they killed her. Tampon Tim told him to do it. Is it starting to make sense now? Yeah, it's starting to make sense now. It always did. There's corruption, and it's terrible. I grew up in Minnesota, and it's sad to see that happening to my former state there. FAFO, Trump drops hammer on Somali fraud, cuts off Minnesota. Kelly Loeffler says she's disgusted and sickened by Nick Shirley's expose of Somali fraud, and the Small Business Administration is cutting off and clawing back all Small Business Administration grants to Minnesota effective immediately. I tried applying for Small Business Administration loans for many times over the years. And every time they told me the same thing. Well, we got plenty of money for minorities or women, but nothing for you. Goodbye. Oh, isn't that lovely? I think that's terrible. I thought everything was supposed to be equal around here. And Kash Patel says Minnesota's Somali fraud scandal explodes. Claim 110 million in fake daycare healthcare centers exposed. Patel, top FBI priority. Oh, good. Here is that classic UFO case from Disclosure Party. Here's a flying saucer, photographs from 1964 discovered in the U.S. National Archives Goddard Space Flight Center collection. So from 64, I thought it was the 60s. So let's see this a little bit clearer. There's no more information. So what Austin said was probably true. See, there you can see his truck, and look at that UFO. What a good shot of that. And it's not a hubcap, folks, because I tried throwing hubcaps in the air to see if it would look like a UFO. It didn't look anything like it. Looked like a hubcap. This is not a hubcap, okay? And you can't keep them in the air long enough to get a picture because they fall very rapidly. Look at that. Look at that picture. That's amazing. Just downrange of strange, you might even say. And here, the craft appears to be tilting on its side, which, Bob Lazar says that they do when they point their gravity generators at their place where they want to go. But it looks like it has some ribs. This is a little bit blurry, so it might have been, and the leaves are a little blurry, so it might have bumped it a little bit, but it looks like it might have like these tiny ribs on the edge of it. What could that be? I don't know. Don't know. And there's another great picture of it just hovering over the countryside there. Look at that. Nicely framed by the trees. It's a nice photograph, don't you think? And look at that, another one as it's going away. There's his truck again. There it is. Bigger than Dallas. And there's another great, crisp, and look, you can see lines in it here. Look at that. Would you just look at that? Would you just look at that? Yeah. And I guarantee you, the guy that saw this never stopped talking about it. And he was probably ridiculed even by his family. I've been there. I've done that. At least this guy got pictures. I didn't even get one picture from mine. Terrible. Terrible. You need pictures. And there it is, sideways again. This must be the underside of it. That's amazing. Look at all these pictures. This guy really popped them off, didn't he? Got a lot of good pictures. And I think that's the first one again. Yeah. Too cool for school, you might even say. And, that's 1964. And, this cover-up has gone on way too long. They just need to come clean on whatever they know. Don't you think? I think I would like that. And Jerry Lahane says, great clarity UFO. Yes. It's a seam. Yes. Even the sun reflection, 64. Wow. Yes. And I really believe the older cases better because I believe they're easier to believe because there wasn't Photoshop, there wasn't AI, there wasn't anything like that. So if they photographed it, it was probably there. Okay. Not to say that people didn't try hoaxing things, but that one's pretty good. Look at this. Donald Trump with this out. I just had a good and very productive phone call with President Putin of Russia prior to my meeting at 1 p.m. today with President Zelensky of Ukraine. The meeting will take place in the main dining room at Mar-a-Lago. Press is invited. Thank you for your attention to this matter. DJT. Drawing attention not only to the video itself, but to growing criticism of legacy media for ignoring stories others now are now uncovering online. The question many are asking, why is independent journalism breaking stories that mainstream outlets won't touch? The Hodge twins, J.D. Vance on Nick Shirley's viral Minnesota daycares video. This dude has done far more useful journalism than any of the winners of the 2024 Pulitzer Prizes. Yep. Bingo. You got it. That's it. Look at me. I run the daycare now. Yeah. Look at that. Yeah, you can just go back to Somalia because the only thing you guys know is piracy, and that's what you're doing here. Piracy. It's terrible. It's disgusting. Send them back. Send them back. Put them in a little boat and give it a push. Get them out of here. They don't belong. Trump had to address the slaughter of Christians in Nigeria. So explain why the world needs the UN, right? They do nothing except start wars or encourage the starting of wars. The UN, pretty useless. Florida becomes the first U.S. state to remove every single vaccine mandate, even for schools. Hallelujah. And I wrote, every other state needs to do this too, ASAP. Don't you think? Plot twist, a new NASA study, of course, never a straight answer, says that Saturn's moon Titan may not be an ocean world after all. Well, they did send a lander on there, and I didn't see any liquid, but the surface looked like it was moving up and down. So maybe subsurface liquid of some sort. Who knows? Nobody knows. Nobody knows. And look at this from Conservative and Proud. I miss the way Christmas felt when I was a kid, when I was little. Oh, yeah. Christmas was magical. Remember that? Don't forget that. And remember, kids still see it that way. It's very magical. It's magical. Kathy Jackson, Facebook Conservatives, put this out. An entire U.S. election was rigged to keep these two criminals out of prison. Always remember the reason for the treason. Yes. Criminals. Government gangsters have been on a decades-long fraud-driven joyride as they turned our system into an organized crime superstructure. Everything has been a grand deception. The full scale and duration of the corruption will be staggering. Buckle up, Buttercup. Buckle up, Buttercup. If you're wondering about maybe getting a set of vanity plates, you might want to consider this one. Look at this. Dispatch. Can you repeat the plate? Cop. No. That's a great. If you're anticipating police following you, that'd be a funny. You might get away with it until he spells it out. Then they're on to you. And here's downtown Sturgeon Bay. And this is right like when it first started from 23 hours ago. So it got a lot more than that. That's our cozy little town. Sturgeon Bay, Wisconsin. It's lovingly called Dirty Sturge. Gee, I wonder why they call it that. I don't know. You tell me. Destination Sturgeon Bay. Currently in downtown Sturgeon Bay, and the snowstorm is not letting up. Stay safe, drive carefully, blah, blah, blah. Thank you. Knowingly committed sedition and treason, they all should be indicted. Indict them all before the statute of limitations runs out. Well, that was already addressed by Hermit Dillon, and she said, we don't have to worry about statute of limitation. That's not coming up yet. Even if it did, there's ways around that, and they're going to get these criminals, and they're going to get them good. They just need to have a super solid case. That's my and Jay Buying says, you need a snowmobile. I had snowmobiles when I was a kid. And Jerry Lelane says, only 3 inches here, lasted 2 days. Well, I try to do an Abraham Lincoln snow sculpture every year, a bust of Abraham Lincoln. I did my first one in 2nd grade, and it was pretty cool. Turned out pretty good. I try to do it every year. I don't make it every year, but maybe I'll make a Trump snow sculpture this year. Clinton and Obama both had Epstein at the White House and went to Little St. James multiple times. Trump banned him from all of his properties, reported him to the police, and ordered the raid that led to his arrest. But tell me again, Dems, how we're going to get Trump this time on Epstein. Oh, my God. They're so dumb. And there's my libtard friend. Oh, I missed the part where he reported them to the police. Oh, really? It's because you watch the mainstream news. Get your head out of where. Oh, my God. Some of these libtards. He's my friend. I probably should have unfriended him a long time ago, but oh, well, so swell. He did the computer animation of our cable access show back in the big early 90s over there in Minnesota, in Mound, Minnesota, birthplace of Tonka Toys, at Channel 20. Space Cadets. And maybe we'll play that between Facebook and X. Tim Walz knew, Eric Doherty puts this out. Tim Walz knew, Ilhan Omar knew, Attorney General Keith Ellison knew. He's a woman beater, by the way. Minnesota Democrat officials knew. They endorsed the Somali fraud because it helps keep power. Yeah, help them keep power. Raids need to happen. More people need to be arrested, and the voters need to clean house. Yes, they do. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. put this out. FDA's war on public health is about to end. This includes its aggressive suppression of psychedelics, peptides, stem cells, raw milk, hyperbaric therapies, chelating compounds, ivermectin, hydroxychloroquine, vitamins, clean food, sunshine, exercise, nutraceuticals, and anything else that advances human health and can't be patented by pharma. If you work for the FDA and are part of this corrupt system, I have 2 messages for you. Number 1, preserve your records. And number 2, pack your bags. And Margaret Rain put that out. Thanks, Anne. And here is our leader, our commander-in-chief. Let's hear what he has to say.
In the end, government either serves the productive, patriotic, hardworking American citizen, or it serves those who break the laws, cheat the system, and seek power and profit at the expense of our nation. Look at Minnesota, where Somalians have taken over the economics of the state and have stolen billions and billions of dollars from Minnesota and indeed from the United States of America. And we're going to put an end to it. In the end, government either serves.
That's right. He's such a good president. And this woman here should get the Medal of Freedom too, or some White House award. On August 3rd, 1977, Kathy O'Brien testified to the 95th U.S. Congress, excuse me, claiming that she was a sex slave for Hillary and Bill Clinton and accused Hillary Clinton of rape. Yeah, believe her. She's telling the truth. She's got a book called The transformation of America. Transformation. Oh, God. Robert, we're going to get him. Yeah, and this was a blizzard warning. This is the warning. And look, blizzard warning, that's here. Here's Sturgeon Bay right here. The whole peninsula is all lit up in purple there. Look at that. Purple rain, you might even say. I met Prince a couple times. Very cool. And this is what a Prince record looks like close up. Look at this and any other record. A vinyl record up close. Waves of right channel. All these little knobs make noise. Waves of left channel. Isn't that amazing? And if you take a pin, like a pin, and you tape a cone of paper to it and hold it right where the tape is and put it down on a record going around, you will hear the music come out of the cone, because that works that way too. It's not going to be as loud, but it does work, and it shows the principle of how a record works, an album. Can't do that with a CD. You'll scratch it all up. Scratch it all up. You don't want to do that. Refund checks for Americans will be gigantic in the upcoming filing season because of the tax cuts included in President Trump's One Big Beautiful Bill Act. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent predicted this week. Oh, good. Let's have more of that. Here's Trump's message. And by the way, Merry Christmas to you all. Haven't seen you since before I left to see my mom for Christmas, and it went really well. I'm very glad I got to spend time with my mom. Donald Trump says on X, this was Merry Christmas to all, including the radical left scum that is doing everything possible to destroy our country, but are failing badly. We no longer have open borders, men and women's sports, transgender for everyone, or weak law enforcement. What we do have is a record stock market and 401ks, lowest crime numbers in decades, no inflation, and yesterday a 4.3 GDP, 2 points better than expected. Tariffs have given us trillions of dollars in growth and prosperity, and the strongest national security we have ever had. We are respected again, perhaps like never before. God bless America. President DJT. Oh, so cool having him for president. Oh, look at this. We are the news now, aren't we? Yes, we are. And there's Nick Shirley. He's doing a great job. End wokeness, 0 AP stories on Somali daycare fraud. PBS, 0. New York Times, 0. NPR, 0. Wall Street Journal, 0. BBC, 0. CNN, 0. WAPO, 0. He's gotten over 100 million hits, views on his video on X. 100 million. U.S. researchers achieved 99% success using pure light to kill cancer cells, eliminating the need for drugs or chemo. Interesting how, remember when Trump mentioned that to help fight COVID, maybe light could be used, light therapies, and he was mocked. They mock at whatever he says, even though it's all brilliant. And yeah, so light therapy. Some people have been using that since the 30s or 40s over in Europe. And look at this beautiful picture of the first couple. Look at that. He's like, okay, honey, you can't wear these high heels. You'll be taller than me. Wear these other ones. Okay, dear. So funny. They're great. Great couple. My New Year's resolution is to simply write 2026 instead of 2025. That's mine too. Yes. Okay. And it's going to be a struggle too. It's going to be a big struggle. A struggle. Oh yeah. Look at that. Update on Minnesota fraud from FBI Director Kash Patel. The FBI is aware of recent social media reports in Minnesota. However, even before the public conversation escalated online, the FBI had surged personnel and investigative resources to Minnesota to dismantle large-scale fraud schemes exploiting federal programs. Fraud that steals from taxpayers and robs vulnerable children will remain a top FBI priority in Minnesota nationwide. Yes. To date, the FBI dismantled a $250 million fraud scheme that stole federal food aid meant for vulnerable children during COVID. The investigation exposed sham vendors, shell companies, and a large-scale money laundering tied to the Feeding Our Future network. Yeah, started by Tampon Tim. And it goes on. 78 indictments, 57 convictions. So when people say they aren't doing anything, yes, they're doing a lot, okay? But there's a lot to do. That's the thing. Here it is, example of the fraud taking place in Minnesota. Look at this. It's Quality Learning Center. They can't even spell learning right. And that the number is not a real number. It doesn't go to anything. But one of these daycares, the number goes right to Tim Wall's office. Now, can you get any more involved than that? No, you can't. Lock walls up. Make it so Walls has cement walls around him and a metal gate, and keep it locked. Walls and Nokia for governor. Minnesota crime is down. I didn't close those schools. I'm a marathon runner. Tell the truth. This was put up here by my good friend Tom Gray, who went to the same high school I went to. He was a little older than me. Didn't you say everyone in Minnesota would receive a $200 refund on the $18 billion you overcharged us in taxes? Where's our money? Yeah. He gave it to the Somalis and himself, probably. And here's Howard Flesher. Now, he's a toy inventor and a friend of mine. And I remember I was in New York City for Toy Fair many years ago, decades ago now. And he took me around the town and showed me all the cool places. And this is one of his inventions here. Celebrates 40 years of creating and licensing toys through Royalty Pros. And yeah, he's a very, very cool guy. We're not going to watch that. What music does to human blood. Listen to this. Is this true? I don't know, but it's interesting.
You won't believe what happens to human blood once you expose it to music. Just take a look at this experiment. Scientists, including world-renowned physics researcher John Stewart, took a fresh tube of human blood and split it into two identical vials. One vial was placed inside a Faraday cage, a chamber that blocks sound. The other vial was placed inside a sound chamber and exposed to music for 20 minutes. Then they used an automated machine to count how many red blood cells were still alive. The blood inside the silent Faraday cage was mostly dead cells, but the blood exposed to music, it was mostly alive. They repeated the experiment multiple times with different music and kept getting the same result. But here's the most shocking part. Once they expose the blood to live music, almost all the blood cells stay alive. Your body is not just mechanical, it responds to rhythm and signals, frequency and energy. Ancient culture used sound for healing long before we had lab equipment. And finally, science is slowly catching up. If you found this helpful, make sure to follow and share it with someone who needs to know.
Isn't that interesting? So if you're ever in the hospital, bring a little Walkman with you or a little music making device and play music, and you'll get better quicker. And maybe you will, live longer. Paul Bright says, please hit the like button. Thanks, Paul, for putting that out there. Leering at kids. Yes, Jerry, that's very, yes, yes. Nick Shirley is a great patriot, and he needs protection. He's getting a lot of death threats now. Charlie Brown Christmas, 1965. Did you know? Check this out.
Did you know that when A Charlie Brown Christmas won an Emmy Award for Outstanding Children's Program in 1966, Lee Mendelson and Bill Melendez made sure that Charles Schultz was able to give the acceptance speech? All the legendary Schultz said was, quote,
Charlie Brown is not used to winning, so we thank you.
Did you know that when A Charlie Brown Christmas won an Emmy?
Charlie Brown is not used to winning, so thank you. And Charlie Brown, that name, Charlie Brown, came from Charles Schultz's childhood. He had a friend named Charlie Brown, and he named one of his characters in his Peanuts after his friend Charlie Brown. And curiously, or interestingly, when I was a lot younger, and I was 18 years old, I took a job as a teacher's aide at an elementary school, a latchkey in an elementary school, Alice Smith Elementary in Hopkins, Minnesota. And our daycare director was a really cool guy, and he arranged for the real Charlie Brown to come and talk to the kids. So the guy who the character was named after was going to come and talk to the kids in like 2 weeks. Well, after about a week and a half, we got word that he passed away. So we had to tell the kids, Charlie Brown's not coming. He passed away. And that was a very sad thing to tell the kids. But almost got to meet him. My mom got to see Charles Schultz when she was younger, I believe in Little Falls, maybe in Minneapolis. She went to go see him. He was giving a talk and a demonstration, art demonstration. Very interesting. So there it is, Charles Schultz, great Minnesotan. You know, the Mall of America used to have Camp Snoopy, but not anymore. They should have kept that. They should have kept that. Oh, and Dan Scavino Jr. continuing with the dog comms. Do you know what the dog comms are? Check this out. Learn the comms. Okay. Blink. Okay. Just reminds me of Q. For some reason. And Donald Trump puts this out now. 1 million more pages of Epstein are found. DOJ is being forced to spend all of its time on this Democrat-inspired hoax. When do they say no more and work on election fraud, etc.? The Dems are the ones who worked with Epstein, not the Republicans. Release all their names, embarrass them, and get back to helping our country. The radical left doesn't want people talking about Trump and Republicans' success. Only a long ago dead Jeffrey Epstein. Just another witch hunt. Bongino put that out. Thanks, Dan Bongino. Look at these two criminals. How are they still walking around? Terrence Williams put this out. Bill and Hillary Clinton have turned their comments off on X when some of the Epstein files released. Yeah, I wonder why. Because they're guilty. And my friend Wolfie says, what's done in the dark shall be brought to the light. That's right. Yes. Here is one of those beautiful images I created from one single image of Jupiter. And look at that. It almost looks like a Roman helmet here and arms. His legs are right here. Very interesting. Just beautiful symmetrical images when you overlay it and reverse it, halftone it. Beautiful. I call it mirroring. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Oh, yes, it is, isn't it? Isn't it? Isn't it? Yes. Gas prices hit cheapest December levels in 4 years as holiday travelers hit the road nationwide. I hit the road. 5.5 hours to drive out to my mom's. And for those reading the post who support this kind of corruption because you are a struggling actor that turns a blind eye to this, shame on you. Yeah, and there's our own, we're going to cruise on back now. And we're back. We're back. And oh, look, it's Florida Constitutionalist. And Florida Constitutionalist says, Cap 78 Pack, do they love them? Live music definitely affects me more. Good live music. Yes, you can feel it through your whole body. I think music, and I also believe that your own voice is specially tuned to heal your body. So if you tell your elbow to get better, it probably will get better quicker because the vibrations of your voice are tuned to your own body. I have no evidence for that. I just have a feeling about it. And Paul Bright says, I have a question. Okay. What's the question? Yes, Aaron. Humming. Oh, yeah. Humming. And welcome to the show, Florida Constitutionalist. And Paul Bright says, if we're cloned, would be considered to have a soul. Well, I think that your soul. Now, this is just my opinion based on my personal experience. I believe that our bodies are like cars, okay? And our soul is what drives it, okay? So if you create a clone, it would have to have some sort of soul. Otherwise, it wouldn't be able to move. It would just lie there. You'd have to, a soul would have to enter that body, or maybe take a fragment of yours. I don't know how that's all done, if it's even possible, because our souls are non-universe entities. They're not part of the universe. That's why you can't measure it, because it's not part of the universe. It's something else, something before the universe. That's how far we go back, I believe. And then for the Constitutionalist says, thanks, sweetheart. Good to be here. I'm humming now. Oh, good. Yes, humming. That is. And maybe if you hum, even right, because you can, if you hum on your arm, you can feel it go right through. So, yeah, hum your way to good health. Good one. Well, do you think a soul could be cloned? I have no idea, Paul. I have no idea. Like I said, all I know is I like to just talk about what I experienced or what I believe, and that's, I do not know. I don't know. Our soul is kind of like the Allspark, like on Transformers. The Allspark gives the life to the robots. Without the Allspark, they would just be a car or a robot without feelings or thoughts. So your soul drives you, and so when you park your car, you leave your car and the car is sleeping, right? So when we sleep, maybe we could astral project, which I know you can do, and come back, and then in time to wake up. Because when I was out of my body, I could not move my body. I wasn't connected to it anymore. But I don't think the soul can completely control your body. I think it gives you hints. So I think there's a very vast communication problem between our jelly-like brain and our soul. When I came out of my body, I came out of my belly, and I was like a round ball of nothing but everything. And then I came back into my chest, and my heart started beating again. So I'll never do that again, because yeah. So I after thinking about it for many decades, I decided, well, our soul is like us driving a car, and our body is like a car. So when you get out of the car doesn't move. When the soul goes out of the body doesn't move. So I think if you cloned a body, you would have to have some sort of soul. And if you listen to, what's that guy's name? Oh, I can't remember his name now. But he claims he went to the cloning centers, and they had a body of his, like a clone, And as soon as he reached REM sleep, a light would go on and they could hit a button and transfer his soul into the clone. Donald Marshall, look into his stuff. I think he might have something there. Donald Marshall, look him up. Very interesting. But now I want to go over, and I mentioned my friend Robert Karstead, who is sadly a libtard, but he was instrumental in our space opera, Space Cadets. So let's just play one of the versions of the Space Cadets. This is from the early 90s back in Minnesota. And the computer Robert used was an Amiga, a very old computer. It was a computer they had at the, he also had one at the cable access channel. So there's that one. Okay, this is a shorter version. Let's watch this. Space Cadets. There are no sissies in space. To be continued. How do you like that? Oh, it's a cliffhanger, I'm telling you. Well, that's the Space Cadets. Oh, and look who's here. Why, it's Rose Thistle Art. Oops, I have to go back here and do that. Silly me. And Rose Thistle Art says, we're here from the future to tell young Aaron to never give up. He will have a YouTube quest for truth together in the future. Yes. Oh, yes. That's right. That is right. Thank you very much. And thank you for your recent messages on one of my recent shows, Roast Thistle Art. Thank you. Please share this message with others. Thank you, says Peggy. And let me see. Oh, and Operation Shutdown says, will the cliffhanger of Space Cadets finally get resolved in 2026? Well, we'll have to see. Maybe. I can't say. I do know, I can tell you that my friend who played Eric Thorne, the thorn in my side, if you will, the bad guy of the film, he passed away a number of years ago now. So that's very sad. But with AI the way it's going, maybe I could just, have that be done that way. Or if I can find someone that looks like that. But it's a hard one to find. He's half Icelandic, half American. Good to see everyone, says Rose Sessler. It was good to see you too, Rose. Yes. Well, let's go over. We had a lot of fun there. So let's go over to X. Because X marks the spot for news. News that sometimes gives you the blues, but maybe not. Maybe it will enlighten you. Here we are over on X. X marks the spot. And there's our show tonight. Oh, there's our show tonight. Truth Quest with Aaron Moriarty, number 712. Full disclosure. Look at that. That UFO picture reminds me of a city in Montana. It's a real beaut. A real beaut. And I like the older pictures because there was no Photoshop and it was all real. Oh, look at baby Trump from Diaper Diplomacy. Imagine that.
As you know, I had an excellent phone call with President Putin that lasted for over 2 hours. We discussed a lot of points, and I do think we're getting a lot closer, maybe very close. The president and I just spoke to the European leaders. They were President Emmanuel Macron of France, President Alexander Stubb of the Republic of Finland, President Karol Nawrocki of the Republic of Poland, Prime Minister Jonas Gahr Store of the Kingdom of Norway, Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni of the Italian Republic, Prime Minister Keir Starmer of the United Kingdom of Britain and Northern Ireland, Chancellor Friedrich Merz, the Federal Republic of Germany, Secretary General Mark Rutte, the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, NATO, President Ursula von der Leyen of the European Commission. We spoke to all of those great leaders. They're all great leaders. And we had a great talk with them after we were completed. We thought it was appropriate to speak with them. And our meeting was excellent. We covered, somebody would say 95%. I don't know what percent, but we have made a lot of progress on ending that war, which is really certainly the most deadly war since World War II, probably the biggest war since World War II. And I want to thank Steve Witkoff, who's here, and I'd like to thank Jared, who's here someplace. Thank you, Jared. And thank you, Steve. What a great job you've done. Jared Kushner, Steve Witkoff, and Marco Rubio is here. Thank you, Marco. And Pete Hegseth is here. Those two people are doing an unbelievable job. And the four people on this one are doing, I don't think anybody could do it. We'll see if it gets done, but it's very close, certainly. Nobody would even have a chance of getting it to where it is right now. Nobody would have thought that was possible. So I just want to say we've done very well. We've had discussions on just about every subject, and that includes with President Putin before. And we went into great detail, and we likewise went into great detail today. And it was an honor to have you at Mar-a-Lago and have lunch. I hope you enjoyed the food. Your people enjoyed the food. I can tell you that. You're big, strong people. Your general over there looks like Central Casting.
Isn't that lovely? I just love diaper diplomacy. Oh, someone's at Tampon Tim's door. He looks through the thing. What's he see? Resign, retard. There's the pillow guy ready to take over. Don't you love it? Oh, yes. And there is my friend Red Pill 78's show on Somali fraud exposed nationwide. Red Pill 78. Zach Payne, the corruption detector. Go check him out. His great news. Citizen journalism at its best. Seems legit. From now on, money laundering will be called daycare luring centers. Yeah. That's, for everything the Democrats say, you could use this meme and it would be accurate. Oh, this is a good one too. A little animation going here. Let's check it out.
A 20-year-old can't have alcohol, but a 5-year-old can pick their gender. I too was once trapped inside of a woman's body, but then I was born.
Hey, I got one, Mr. President.
Go ahead, Elon.
If genitals don't define gender, why does cutting them off affirm it?
So I can't have an opinion on abortion because I don't have a uterus, but I can be a woman without one? Liberals want to raise the federal minimum wage, but they also want to pay low wages to illegal immigrants to come here and work the fields. To anybody that I offended in 2025, try to make some improvements on yourself, so I don't offend you in 2026.
Perfect. Oh, yeah. Very good. I like that. Oh, the 128-page House report by Representative Barry Loudermilk, Georgia, found there were text communications from Cheney to Cassidy Hutchinson. The penalty for witness tampering is 20 years. Trump voided the auto pen pardons in a few days. Yeah, there's no statute of limitations, so they got time. They'll get her. They'll get her. Look at this. You wonder who Nick Shirley is? Well, here's how he describes himself. First, Jeff Feinberg says, "Who is Nick Shirley? Where did he come from? And how is a 23-year-old so good at his job?" That Schmidt was on Mahomes' iron level. Okay. So he answers, "A bit about me, 23 years old, 100% independent, have posted a full YouTube video every week for the past 104 weeks. Wow. Helped expose the border crisis, first American to ever film inside CCOT, briefed President Trump at the White House about Antifa, ended Tim Walz's career. Brutal. Yeah. Thanks, Myrna. Here's Dan Scavino, and listen to him talk about Trump.
Not a day goes by I don't think about it.
Trump's longtime assistant shares what happened after the shooting.
I'll never forget him dropping to the ground, shots being fired, him going down, and then him fighting through the Secret Service to get up and not only get his shoe, as you heard on the mic.
Let me get my shoes.
But the way he got up and lifted his fist and yelled, "Fight, fight, fight." That's his spirit, and that's the way that man is behind the scenes. Fight, fight, fight. He's been doing that all his life. Then they brought him in and brought him to the hospital. I picked up his hat because the hat fell to the ground, gave it to him in the hospital. And he's there on the phone wanting to know how you guys are doing, how the family is doing. He cared about the people that were in the room, the Secret Service agents, myself. He's a warrior. And that's who the American people have leading this country.
Many people have told me that God spared my life for a reason. And that reason was to save our country and to restore America to greatness.
What a cool legacy he has. Incredible. Oh, this is so funny, Massimo. Give her an Oscar for that. Watch this. Struggle with a password. Wow. Take your password. Incorrect. Incorrect. Try again. Again. Again later. Oh, it's so funny. Oh, isn't that the truth though? Boy. Yeah, it's a struggle. I let me tell you, in 7th grade or, any grade, I'd go to my locker. Holy crap, what's my combo again? Oh. Just like the passwords now. Oh, darn, what's my password? No clue. Nobody knows. Breaking, an incredible move. Secretary Marco Rubio just signed an agreement with the United Nations ending further American funding of the wasteful foreign aid industrial complex. Rubio says no more funding waste, anti-Americanism, or inefficiency. We love Marco Polo, you might even say. If you're ever in the wilderness, make yourself one of these, because watch how easy it is to start a... You don't need that dorky music. Look at that. Get your marshmallows out. We got a fire already. Look at that little sawdust in there. And look how this thing goes. It's got a metal weight to keep it going fast and hard. And it just winds and unwinds, and boom, you got a fire. Look at that. If I'm ever in the wilderness, I'm making me one of them, even if it takes me a long time, which it probably would. Merry Christmas from inside the White House. Here's Nick Shirley. Give us a tour of the White House, will you, Nick?
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Merry Christmas. And today I'm here inside the White House. I'm going to take you guys inside of what the White House looks like during Christmas time. All right, here we go. Walk in, you're met with a nice musical number, and then you see the presidential seal right on there. Thank you very much. And then to see the Christmas tree, you go through the presidential seal right here, and then here is the gigantic Christmas tree. Literally goes all the way up to the tip top. And then on the Christmas tree, each ornament represents a state. And then let's go over here into the green room. And here right now we even have a Lego set of Donald Trump's face, another Christmas tree, and the portraits inside the White House are my personal favorite. There's plastered everywhere here inside of the White House, just a bunch of American legends. And then of course you have some good food. Might just try out the eggnog. Thank you. Cheers. 1 out of 10, a little sweet. I give it about 9. And you have a whole entire table full of the finest food. You got big shrimp. You got lamb chops. You even have dates. Who eats dates? Anyways, you got everything. You got some cheese here as well. Let's go ahead, and if I don't mind myself, I will grab a plate of food. We have the plethora of food. We have the tenderloin. We got the shrimp. We got the lamb chops. We even got crab. We got some carrot cake. And I mean, just look how big these pieces of shrimp are. And let's get a little food review of the lamb chop. Pretty good. Might have a little bit too much salt. Give it an 8. And now this is the red room. You have another Christmas tree here, and you have more portraits of presidents. I specifically like this one right here. You have this nice one of JFK. Just elegancy everywhere here inside the White House. And now President Trump's going to come down and give some remarks.
Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States.
I love it.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Not radiated shrimp either, says Peggy Dancer. Yeah, isn't that neat? Nick Shirley. You're going to be hearing a lot from him. Oh, look, some recent graduates. That graduation day photo of AOC and Jasmine Crockett. It's going viral at the Quality Leering Center. They graduated. Imagine that. How much do they have to pay to get that? I don't know. Ooh, look at this from Salty Goat. It's almost like Democrats are the problem, isn't it? 97% of guns are in the red. 97% of gun violence is in the blue. Well, the blue is the problem, isn't it now? those gun-free zones that the criminals like. And look, here is a close-up view of the fingerprints of the tridactyls. Until skeptics can demonstrate, this is from Gonzalo Chavez, until skeptics can demonstrate how the near straight line fingerprint patterns could occur naturally in humans or provide clear evidence of manipulation of the fingertips, the evidence continues to support the conclusion that these tridactyl specimens are not human. They're not human, people. They're just not human. Get over it. Build a bridge and get over it. Right? That's right. I don't think that they're necessarily aliens, but they're not humans, right? Breaking, Elon Musk again saying we must mass impeach and remove leftist judges after Somali fraudsters were let free to despot robbing the taxpayer out of billions in Minnesota. Let's hear this fine gentleman, President Bukele. Listen to what he says. Very eloquent and totally.
But jumping out of the water when it's already boiling is an almost impossible feat. You are not there yet. And believe me, you don't want to be. We did the unthinkable to cleanse our society. We arrested the terrorists, but we have to remove corrupt judges and corrupt attorneys and prosecutors.
Isn't that true? Yeah. And El Salvador went from one of the most dangerous countries to one of the safest. Oh, look, breaking. Multiple corrupt Minnesota judges are under fire for dismissing a flurry of recent Somali fraud cases. Yeah, they're just paid to just dismiss them. They need to be dismissed. Dismiss them. Elon Musk, repost end wokeness. Minnesota rep Ilhan Omar's net worth. In 2019, she was worth $45,000. Now in 2025, she's worth $30 million. Well, would she win the lottery? The Leering lottery, perhaps? Look at this. Check out slow motion video of these bees flying into their hive. Who knew they were such clumsy flyers? Listen to this. Out. Isn't that goofy? I love that. Bees. It's like they hit right in their eyes. Boy, they're that smart, huh? Maybe not. Mila Joy put this out. Holy crap. And she's got a Nick Shirley video here. Let's listen to Nick Shirley.
So guys, this is absolutely mind-blowing. So I was watching the most recent video by Nick Shirley exposing.
So this guy checks out Sweet Angel Childcare, which receives $1.26 million in CCAP funding. Their phone number goes directly to the office of Tim Walz. Imagine that. Nick Shirley uncovered this. Interesting, huh? Wow. Oh, look, there's Tampon Tim right now. Uncle Timmy's Leering Center. Center for kids who can't read good. Well, he should be a student there then, shouldn't he? Here's those Gonzalo Chavez again about those tridactyl mummies that they found, and they're intact. They have organs and stuff.
This 1,800-year-old body was scanned with modern medical imaging, and what made researchers pause wasn't how unusual she was, but how familiar the features from her match many other specimens found in the region. Check this out. Maria was found in 2017, preserved by extreme desert conditions. She was discovered curled in the fetal position, and the CT scan shows remnants of brain tissue that shifted after death. Her skin, ligaments, tendons, and bones are remarkably intact. Even though most soft organs were replaced by air, Incredibly, the shape of her heart and major blood vessels is still visible on scans today. Maria's anatomy is highly unusual. She has 3 fingers and 3 toes, known as tridactyl limbs. Each finger has 5 bone segments, not 4 like humans. Her skull is elongated with no visible coronal or sagittal sutures. The eye sockets are large and structures resembling eye lenses were found, possibly cataracts. Her teeth were badly worn and broken, suggesting she may have used her mouth to grip or stabilize herself, possibly due to mobility issues later in her life. Now, you may notice something strange in CT images. Areas that look like bone is missing or hollow, and that is not damagery or fakery. This is due to the bone window setting in CT imaging. The visible core you see in the inner outline of compact bone, which surrounds bone marrow, some bones, especially distal bones like fingers and toes, are almost entirely of compact bone. So when viewed in semi-transparency, they can look empty inside even though they're completely intact. Now, the scans show Maria suffered from advanced cancer with destructive lesions throughout her spine and hips. She also endured severe trauma near the end of her life, including massive damage to the sacrum and pelvic floor, exposing internal tissues. Metallic foreign objects were found embedded in bone, along with puncture wounds, suggesting violent injury, possibly fatal. According to the radiologist Dr. Fung's conclusion, Maria likely died from catastrophic trauma, while already weakened by late-stage cancer. Regardless of interpretation, this case represents one of the most detailed CT-based virtual autopsies ever performed on an ancient body, raising serious anatomical and medical questions that deserve careful scientific discussion. So she's one of about 30 specimens that have been discovered in the region, which all share the same similarities, from the digits to abnormalities to implants and things of that nature, all around the same time period and even older, okay? Some see coincidence and some see signs and messages, mate. So when does this stop being a coincidence and something more? You tell me down in the comments below, bruv.
Interesting. Very interesting, I'd say. Elon Musk, more than any of the daily readership of all newspapers in America combined. Doge Designer puts this out. Breaking: Nick Shirley's Minnesota Somali fraud video just crossed 100 million views on X, and that was already a while ago. I think it's over 120 million now. You are the media now. Yes, look at that. Oh, salty goat. Nope, never going to unsee it. I knew he looked familiar. Oh, he must have had a sex change. Look at that. Imagine that. No wonder he wants tampons in the boys' room. Oh, boy. Oh, look at this. From Wholesome Side of X. I like the Wholesome Side of X. Y'all, I think this grass is excited to see me. Yay. Oh, yeah, look at that. It is excited to see him. Oh, how perceptive. Very good. It's always a good sign when the grass is happy to see you. Yay. Wouldn't you like to see that? Maybe if we keep our eyes open, we'll notice that too. Quality Leering Center. Oh, laundering. Quality Laundry. Breaking: Quality Leering Center has officially changed their name to fix the typo. Quality Laundering Center. Yeah, money laundering. Look at this Doge Designer. $1 billion scam machine. Nick Shirley got him in the old Achilles heel. Gotcha. Gotcha. And look at this. This is a anti-accident feature in an old car. Look at this interesting design. Oh, I'll probably have a strike for that music. It's got like a tire turning. So when you hit something, it just, you bounce away. Look at that. What an interesting idea. I suppose if you're always running into something, you might need something like that. But what if you like get out to look at the front and it catches your jeans and sucks you in or something? Looks like almost a citroen or something, doesn't it? It's kind of interesting. Kind of cool. I like it. Oh, Quality Leering Center. Learning or leering? Yeah. The Somalis have an average IQ of a retard, it turns out. They're all retards. And they didn't think of this scam themselves. They were told how to do this, and then the people who told them got some back. I'll bet you anything, because they're not smart enough. Oh, another success story from the Quality Leering Center. Why, look, it's Sleepy, Creepy, Crooked Joe himself. Another success story from the Quality Leering Center. He's a good leering guy. He leers at all those young kids. So sick. Original bumper cars, yes. Look at Creepy, Sleepy, Crooked Joe. Oh, here's the animated version of that picture. He gets him with the pillow to the right. A right hook with the pillow. Look at that. Pablammy. He goes to the floor. There goes his glasses. You shouldn't wear your glasses into a fight. Well, I guess if you're retarded, you do, right? Raw Egg International. Flashback. Was Tim Walz connected to disappearance of manual for nuclear capable howitzer? Oh, Raw Egg National puts this out. The depth of his betrayal may go as far as passing nuclear secrets to the Chinese. I reported on this during the election campaign, and the accusation still hasn't been properly investigated. It was made by a fellow National Guard soldier and should be treated as credible. Yes, look how dumb he looks. Oh, if you look up the word retard in the dictionary, the Rictionary, you'll see this picture as an example of someone who's a retard and treasonous, a treasonous retard. Nothing worse. Nothing worse. And here's Nick Shirley at the White House telling Trump about Antifa. Let's hear what he says.
Please go ahead.
Yeah, my name's Nick Shirley. I'm 23 years old. I'm a 100% independent YouTube journalist. And over the past year or so, I've been able to go to 15 countries. I've hung out with people in the gangs of Brazil, in the favelas, in the prisons of Secot. But yet the most dangerous places I have been here in the United States, unfortunately. And I've had the opportunity to show people about the protest Antifa here in the United States, and there's nothing organic about what they are doing here in the United States. I've watched people be bussed in from states. I've watched the same lady at a protest in Atlanta be bused to the protest in DC and then in New York City. There's nothing that is honest about what they are doing. And they have signs. I've seen the same signs here in DC and in London as well. It's a big organization and corporation that they're running. And people may wonder, like, what's the threat to us as Americans if we go? Well, you'll be labeled as a fascist, you'll be labeled as a Nazi, and they'll wish death upon you because they wish death upon me. And just last week in Portland, Oregon, I watched a lady get trapped in her car, surrounded by Antifa, and her sister messaged me after seeing the video. She said, the only reason I think my sister was safe is because you were there recording. I also was chased out by a member of Antifa who said he would smoke me. And next thing he knew, a DHS sniper had lasers on his chest. If he was not there, who knows what would have happened that day. These people are very dangerous, and people wonder how they're able to do it. It's the reason is because these cities are not enforcing the law. And why should these people be worried if the law is not being enforced? And we are not far right, nor are we far wrong. We're just right. And the truth about what's happening here in America with these groups is very dangerous. And I thank you, Mr. President, and your administration as well for acknowledging that.
Thank you very much. It's too bad you have to go through it.
I know, it's so crazy,
much.
right, Mr. President?
Well, you're going to get to the bottom of it, so it's a very important thing you're doing. Thank you very much.
See, Trump can tell. Yep. Oh, look at that. Vince Langman replying to Nick Shirley. Oh. Yeah, look at that. Catterday. Only Trump.
I think you could sit outside and have some food. Would you like to have food, or do you consider that a bribe? And therefore you cannot write honestly, or therefore you have to write a bad story. Okay, because if you'd like, would you like something to eat at this time? Yes or no? You can speak.
Yes, sir.
Yes? Okay. Margot, take him outside, tell the chef. Serve them a little on chicken.
Thank you, press. Thank you, press. Thank you, press. Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys. Thank you, press. Thank you, press.
That should guarantee good stories, but it won't. They'll only get worse.
That should guarantee a good story.
Alex, thanks. Press.
Yeah, Zelensky wishes he was as loved by the people as Trump is. Here is, I think we saw it before, but this is Pluto. Check this out. No sound. The mountains of Pluto. As the New Horizons spacecraft glides over Pluto's Rocky Mountains. Look at that. Incredible, huh? It's black and white, though. Sepia, you might even say. See any bases? Some people think there is a base on Pluto, but how would you know? How would you know? Nobody knows. The Muslim Brotherhood, finally. Look at this. Right. Okie dokie. AG Keith Ellison, Minnesota Attorney General and Deputy Chair of the Democratic National Committee, did this to his girlfriend. But the Democrats don't want to talk about this. Keep reposting. He's a woman beater. Terrible. Look at that. What a piece of crap he is. Get him out of there. How can he be there? ICE arresting people at the biggest Somali mall in Minnesota. Good. Arrest them all. Get them out of here. You're crooks. You're pirates.
No police officer though. There's no police here. All they doing is spraying
Okay. It's mayhem, a lot of honking, a lot of liberals honking because they don't know what else to do. They're waiting for Soros to tell them what to do. They don't know what to do. They have no clue. Look at these people. Wow. Get a clue, Mr. Magoo. Get a clue, Mr. Magoo. Yeah. Oh, I tell you. Look at this. In China, a drone show ended in disaster as the entire place was set on fire. Many people panicked and ran for their lives as fireballs rained down on people watching. Technology is not always the answer, folks. Look at this. Look at this. Just raining down. Fire. Look at that. Wow. Pretty scary, I tell you. Oh, here's Marco Rubio, the comedian. Who knew? He's a funny guy. He's going to be president someday, mark my words.
Es un gran honor y le doy las gracias al presidente Trump por esta oportunidad. I just said I saved a bunch of money by switching to Geico. That's what I said. Es un gran honor y le doy las gracias al presidente Trump por esta oportunidad. I just said I saved a bunch of money by switching to Geico. That's what I said.
God, it's so funny. I think Tim Walz was in on it. Oh, yeah. The average Somali IQ is 68, yet they defrauded Tim Walz's administration out of 250 million, more than that. The retard got out-retarded by retards. That's right. It's a retard fest out there, isn't it? It's a festival. Nobody wants to be there, though. General Mike Flynn, I disagree. John Rich, it's more like 99%. John Rich, I'd estimate well above 90% of Republicans and Democrats are either leveraged, blackmailed, or bought and paid for by entities outside of our country. You want to know why we have a Schmidt show on our hands? because almost every one of them answer to someone other than we, the people. I agree. Yes. Don't, it's America first, people, not other countries first. So let's listen to this woman. She's talking to Nick Shirley.
Nick Shirley, I hope you see this video. Please come to Columbus, Ohio. The reporting you did in Minnesota was amazing. Thank you for that. And if you come to Columbus, Ohio, you will find the exact same fraud. You will see the exact same things. Daycares everywhere. The home health care. I mentioned that in my video. I do not have your bravery to go out here and knock on doors like you did. I don't even want to leave my room right now, okay? But you could come here and do what needs to be done. Please, please investigate. Please talk to our government officials. And you see how the police escorted you out of that building? The Columbus police are on the same take, I am sure. Allegedly. Let me say allegedly before I got the Columbus police coming after me, as well as the Somalis. It's a lot. In the meantime, please come here and investigate. You will find the exact same things. And the rest of the country needs to know that it is real. Thank you for all you are doing. And please, please, please stay safe.
Yes, it's all over. And I'm sure he's getting lots of calls like that. Well, I think we're going to put a little cap on it here, folks. Oh, first, after we watch this. This is amazing.
Dude, look at that. That's easy, buddy. Hey, you're
All legal.
right in here. Good boy.
There goes the dog.
Where are you? Where are you, boy?
There he is. He's flying. He's freaking out. Aw. Good doggo.
Dude, look
Incredible.
at that.
What's one more
Easy,
thing?
buddy. Hey, you just landed right in here. Good boy.
Wow. Unbelievable.
Where are you?
And he finds him. Isn't that wow? Lucky he found him. Good thing he jumped when he did, because wow. You think that's real? Oh, wait a minute. AI edited. Yes, clip matches a wave of AI edited animal rescue videos with no credible sourcing. That's what I thought it might be. Yeah, well, oh well. Thanks, AI, for an exciting thing that didn't really happen, maybe. All righty, Aphrodite. Well, we're going to call it a night. All right, let's go back over here. And I want to thank you all so very much. Thank you all so very much for truth questing with us here, because we're just downrange of strange, where the outrageous is contagious and the paranormal is the new normal. That's right. And Cap78 Pack says, thank you, Aaron. Great comeback show. Thank you. And also Peggy Dancer says, God bless you all. Much love and peace in. Well, thank you. Thank you, Peggy. And Rose Thistleart, who's flying the plane now? I think there was another pilot, but maybe it was AI, so we don't have to worry too much about it. We don't have to worry too much about it. Kathy says, good night, everyone. She's one of our ultra mods. And, oh, Operation Shutdown's predicting what I'm going to say. I will keep my camera pointed to the sky so I can take a picture of that crazy UFO and come on to the Truth Quest and talk about it. Oh, yeah, there it is. That crazy UFO. Oh, cruising around through the stratosphere. Ooh, it's all sorts of woo happening there. And then Rosas Large seems totally plausible that a dog would chase the big bird, but not that big bird would fly into the plane. Well, I've seen where birds have like landed on gliders, so I guess it's a possibility. A curious bird might do that. Who knows? But yeah, probably AI. Thank you, Aaron, says Rose Thistleart. Good to see you and all the questers. Radiating heart. Awesome. Awesome. All righty, Aphrodite. Well, we'll see you on Wednesday, Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, because we're just downrange of strange, where the outrageous is contagious and the paranormal is the new normal. So keep your cameras, just like Operation Shutdown, pointed to the skies, so you can take a picture of that crazy UFO and come on to the Truth Quest and talk all about it, because we love to hear your UFO stories. And there's a lot of them. A lot of them. And let's see. And Rosa Slart says, Cap 78 pack for Florida Constitutionalist, buying 1619, Operation Shutdown. Have a great evening. And Operation Shutdown says, peace in, world peace, baby. That's right. World peace. And buying says, evening, y'all. All right. Well, we'll see you on Wednesday, right around 9 p.m., Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. We'll see you then. Peace in. World peace, baby. Oh, yeah. It's coming. And you can almost taste it. See you on Wednesday. Peace in.